Mom had just come inside from hanging up the wash. It was nice to see the whites looking white again. That new soap Mum bought yesterday did wonders for the juice stain I left on the tablecloth. If I had to have one complaint about that soap, however, it'd have to be about the smell. Most laundry soaps are supposed to smell nice and fresh. Lavender, lemon, heck, one time Mom brought one in that smelled like a forest. This soap smelled terrible. The odor was like chewed bubblegum mixed with freshly polished iron. I couldn't stand it, which is why the wash was hung outside. Mum told me it should do something about the smell before the cloth was brought back in. Little 11-year-old me hoped she was right, because I wasn't willing to dine on a table that smelled like that. And I especially didn't want to wear any of my clothes smelling like that either. I looked out the window again later to watch her hanging up the second load. Those clothes had never looked cleaner, but the smell was still terrible. It was going to be hot and dry all night, so Mum figured we'd leave the wash out until morning. That night, I glanced out at the wash on the line. Watching it waving in the breeze, it almost looked like a row of ghosts marching to a phantasmal beat. I had a vivid imagination and could almost see the glowing eyes of spectral figures waving about in the dark. Then, once my fantasy had petered out, I looked out the window again. The eyes were still there, watching me. I took one step back, thinking I was seeing things. I put my head against the glass. The clothes were moving against the wind. Sleeves of shirts and corners of cloths and sheets reached for the clothespins and tried to pull them off. Some had succeeded and were already floating away, gliding across the ground, either to leave or assist others in their release. I watched in childish terror as our wash was literally spirited away. One by one, our whites flew away, never touching the dusty terrain underfoot. I stepped away from the window, jumped in bed, and hid under the covers, praying that this was just some nightmare. The following morning, most of our whites were nowhere to be found. Mum couldn't believe someone would come and steal our wash. Out of curiosity, I looked at the label on the back of the new soap Mum used. Warning: active ingredient, ectoplasm, do not use on white laundry.